Hello and welcome back to the Roseberry YouTube channel.
Hello.
We're just honestly trying to find every place that we can record in any of the shops and just figure out like where has the best lighting and where we want to sit in the different shops. We're in Brunfield today at the back.
So this is the back of Brunfield, and in fact, when we first opened in Brunfield, this actually was a cafe area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, before I started working here.
Yes, but
Mm-hmm.
there's too many teas now to fit a cafe in here. So in the back is where you'd find the green teas and the white teas and
Yeah.
all of the matcha stuff.
Yeah, which we need to make sure that people know because they always think that the people often think that the back is a stock room or something. They're like,
Yeah,
am I allowed to
yeah,
come back there? I'm like, yes, come
definitely.
through. There are dozens and dozens of teas for you to see that you haven't found yet. The front. So yeah, we've got a nice little setup in the back window. We can see out to the trees being blown around. Lovely
Yeah.
summer weather. I don't
There
know.
was one time we had a whole group of people doing traditional Scottish dance outside in the garden.
Really?
Yeah, I think we posted on Instagram with pictures actually. Yeah.
That's so fun. I love that. Did any of the staff go out and dance with them? I don't think so. So today's topic is Earl Grey.
Yes.
We realized it was a category we hadn't really talked about at all, and we're just trying to like
And it's our
cover everything.
best-selling tea.
Yes.
Particularly if you add all of the Earl Greys together, then it's without doubt
Oh yeah.
bestseller.
Oh, as a category, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
And
it
probably
blows you
Earl Grey
out the
Blue
water.
Flower is often the bestseller even on its own. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the Earl Grey blue flower. We've got a specially big tin in Bruntsfield for the blue flower because it's so popular.
Yeah.
It's probably I would say it's the most refilled as well.
Yes. Yes. Although I find Lapsang is refilled a lot as well.
Yes,
Because if you're someone who likes Lapsang, you drink a lot of it. So
that's
you've
true.
got a really big tin, and you come and you get it filled. Yeah.
Yeah. Although I think actually I think we mentioned it maybe in a smoky tea video. Um, but obviously we've got one of the teas combines a bit of
Yes.
smoke with the Earl Grey. So actually that was a funny thing that I noticed when we brought in the smoky Earl Grey was that the couples that like one of them drinks Lapsang and one of them brings like drinks Earl Grey and they come back for refills all the time of
Finally,
both of them.
they
They
can.
can be brought together. Yeah, finally they don't have to make two separate
Yeah,
kinds of tea every time.
absolutely.
They can drink the same thing sometimes.
Yeah.
Because we've got something that has both of those elements. But yeah, we're drinking a little glass of vanilla Earl Grey. This is my favorite because it does have that green tea in it, which is
There's
what I'm
mostly
here
black
for.
tea, a little bit of green
Yeah,
tea,
just a
some
little.
vanilla. It's very light and refreshing, but very
Mm-hmm.
much Earl Grey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we should probably get into some history about this tea. I mean, it has a lot of it. There's a lot of stories, legends about
absolutely.
it, and
Yeah,
it's been a traditional tea for a long time.
it has. It was. I mean, the recipe is credited to the second Earl Grey, who actually was the British Prime Minister between 1830 and 1834, and the story is that he was given the recipe for Earl Grey, and the recipe is black tea with Italian bergamot oil, by a Chinese mandarin, so a Chinese civil servant, high-ranking civil servant. And it's because Earl Grey, the second Earl Grey, had actually saved his son from drowning. So that was his, right, well, actually, I'm going to give you this really good recipe for a
Yeah.
scented tea.
I love stories like that. I mean, it's it's not like we have no sort of like definitive proof that that's exactly what occurred, but it's a really nice story
Yeah,
to have on
yeah.
the origins of the tea. That's quite cool.
And if you want to go a bit out there beyond that,
Hmm.
I've got a personal theory that Earl Grey may be the reason that Britain avoided the violent revolutions of 1848. Because Earl Grey was Prime Minister in 1832, where we had our first reform bill. And that meant that democratic reform gradually happened in the UK, happened
Mm-hmm.
right up until the end of the Second War, actually, before absolutely everyone over 18 had the vote. But that kind of gradual reform meant that we didn't have the violent convulsions like every other country in Europe had in 1848. So it's really, I think it's down to Earl Grey.
Clearly, I mean that's we were all just keeping calm and carrying on with our tea. That's just what we do, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Anyone taking a history degree, do not use that information.
Yeah, please don't reference us in your essays. That's not a good idea. Yeah, but it's always nice to have a story like the
Yeah,
the Lapsang story of and the Smoky Russian one about the people on the Silk Roads and all this stuff. Like it's nice to be
yeah.
able to have a proper like connection to
You
where it
know,
came from.
but what I don't know is why would the Chinese mandarin have had access to Italian bergamot lemons? I mean, a bergamot lemon is not, it's not like a regular lemon. It's sort of a cross between a sour orange and a citron, as they say. And it's not certainly not something you would eat. It's very powerful, very aromatic. But why did he know that Chinese black tea and Italian bergamot oil would work so well?
What a great question.
Do
That's
you
actually
know?
I hadn't
We
thought
should
about
ask
that.
someone to do a video on it.
Yeah, maybe we should. You know what? Maybe we need to like find some history guests and get people in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can set up like a podcast situation. We'll have to buy a third mic. Yeah, because we need some corroboration from
Absolutely.
people that have studied things like that. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of historical figures as well, apart from Earl Grey himself, who are sort of thought to have been fans of this kind of tea.
Absolutely. So you've got a bit like with Lapsang, you've also got Winston Churchill. Although he liked the really powerful flavour of Lapsang, he also quite liked the lightness of an Earl Grey.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he was a quintessential British guy. He drank tea.
Yes,
That's
absolutely. You're
normal.
not going to
Not the
catch
same
Winston
kind all the time,
having
but
espresso. No, no.
no, probably not.
Of course, Queen Elizabeth II,
Mm-hmm.
her son King Charles as well, both fans of Earl Grey.
Mm-hmm.
Probably with lemon rather than the milk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what people say about the Queen, wasn't it? That
yeah,
she had the lemon. I mean, that's kind of a classic addition to this kind of tea. Just goes really well together. I mean, as you say, the bergamot is kind of related to lemon,
it
so
is. It is.
yeah, it
Yeah.
makes sense that it would work so well. Yeah, and then we've got several
We
kinds of Earl Grey as well,
Yes.
so we should probably kind of walk you through those.
Bestseller Earl Grey Blue Flower.
Yes.
So the most powerful Earl Grey goes very well with milk if you put milk with your Earl Grey, but also is great black. And
Mm-hmm.
that you've got the black tea, the bergamot oil, and cornflower petals, which are lovely, lovely blue petals.
Yeah, it's a very pretty tea as well. That one, I
Yeah.
think. I mean, it's one that people come back to as their regular thing, but it's really nice as a gift as well because it's
Yes.
so aesthetically pleasing. If you wanted like with the sort of nice tins and jars that we might have, that you can like have a pretty tea
Absolutely.
to put in it. Yeah, to gift to somebody. And then we have the classic Earl Grey as well, which is
Yeah.
just doesn't have the cornflower petals in, but it's still delicious.
And it's got actual pieces of bergamot.
Yeah,
So
that's got
it's,
rind in it. So
yeah.
yeah.
The
And
vanilla Earl
then
Grey that we're
yes, the one
drinking that
we've
we
got.
already mentioned.
Yeah, a little bit of green tea in there and some vanilla pieces as well as the bergamot, obviously.
And on green tea, we've got green Earl Grey. So that's a green tea
Yes,
with bergamots.
I do love that one. Yeah. I mean, it's not something that people have tried before. Usually, when they're sort
Yeah.
of looking at the green tea selection, if they're a green tea drinker, it's likely that if they're really a green tea drinker, it's likely that they're not that much of an Earl Grey drinker or a black tea drinker. They sort of
Yes.
stick to one category maybe, and I think a lot of people once they've found an affection for green tea, they stick to it. But it's a way of sort of gatewaying into a genre
Yeah.
of tea that you might
Absolutely.
not be a fan of usually.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But green Earl Greys are really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what else have we had? We've got the non-caffeinated varieties as well. So we've got
Yes.
decaf Earl Grey. That is super popular, actually,
Mm-hmm.
decaf Earl Grey. Really powerful Earl Grey. So it's often when you've got a decaffeinated, sometimes when you've got a decaffeinated tea, it's sort of takes the backbone out of a tea. This isn't. It's a
No,
really
it's still
great Earl
strong.
Grey.
Yeah, and it's black, obviously, a black
A black
decaffeinated
tea,
tea.
yeah.
Because then we have Earl Grey Rooibos,
And Earl Grey
which is
Rooibos.
naturally decaf, obviously. Rooibos tea being the sort of more herbally red plant that is related to tea but is not exactly the same, so it has no
Yeah.
caffeine, and with the bergamot pieces in there as well.
And one other we haven't yet mentioned, which is well, you mentioned it actually, the smoky Earl Grey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the newest as well.
Yeah, that's the newest, and
fairly recent.
Surprising how the smoke brings out the bergamot in the flavour.
Yeah, I'm not usually a smoky tea drinker myself, but when we got it in, I was like really pleasantly surprised by it. I think because they do go well together. It kind of balances it out, and you've got a bit of smoke and a bit of bergamot, and it sort of, it's a nice combination. Ella here. While editing, I realised that we forgot to mention Lady Mary Grey. That's pictured here. She has extra citrus peel and bergamot and cornflower petals. It's a gorgeous tea. Apologies if it's anyone's favourite and we forgot it. Back to the video.
So one other thing to say perhaps is the interaction between Earl Grey tea and the softness and hardness of water. Because Charles Grey, the second Earl Grey, who popularised the tea, he had an estate in Northumberland where you've got soft water, just like we have in Scotland, actually. And the Earl Grey taste coming from bergamot oil really suited the soft water. So I think it's something that works very well in soft water environments. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm always like very proud of our country's water. I think the Scottish water is just like unmatched. And it does help the taste of various ingredients and teas and things, which is very helpful. So if you're visiting, first thing you should do is pour yourself a glass of tap water, because it's much better than most places I've ever been to.
And you really do not need bottled water.
No,
you really
you don't. Yeah, don't bother with that. But also come and try some Earl Grey, and see how much nicer it tastes with the soft water.
And maybe a pot in our Clark Street store.
Yes. Well, there you go. That's a bit of the Earl Grey story and our teas that we have as well.
Yeah.
It was quite a big category for us, I think. It's a good thing, I think, that we've got like all the different variations with the green and the rooibos and all of that, because they're popular.
They are popular.
Yeah. We've been enjoying people's suggestions and things. We're going to see if we can sort out some more videos based on what people are responding to and asking us
to
do.
Comment on the last video was, could we do some posts on the differences between different black teas? So we'll maybe do a few posts there,
maybe
because
a series.
There are so many black teas.
Yeah, we can really spread that out and talk more in depth about the different sort of Assam and Ceylon and all of
and different Chinese ones.
Give them all proper attention, because otherwise you'd have like hour-long podcasts from us, and I think it's maybe better that we break it up a little bit. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and who knows where we'll be next time.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you like the video, do like and subscribe.
Of course.
Yeah. And see you next time.